What is up, guys? Dustin Yewy here, and I have some more NHL 13 news. Now, some of this is not news. Some of these things I've already gone over because they were on the EA site through their blogs. But this is actually from a news article from GameInformer.com. I'll have the link in the description, and it's called NHL 13, 22 Things We Know About NHL 13. Again, some of these things we already know. But yeah, some of these things I didn't even know until I read the article, which is pretty cool. So that's why I'm bringing you some of this stuff. So first off, they kind of split it up into gameplay, EA Sports IQ presentation, and I'll go over the headings, but it's numbered 1 to 22. All right, so first we got gameplay number 1. Previous NHL entries featured speed differentiation between players, but the developer is the first to admit the skaters lacked explosiveness. For NHL 13, EA Canada has completely reworked the skating engine, which its marketing team is dubbing True Performance Skating. This is stuff we already kind of know. This year, speedy wingers like Marian Gaborik have the ability to fly by defenders. Players reach their top speed by either reaching full stride in a straightaway or by the user pressing the L3 button. So it seems like there's going to be a little bit of a speed burst, giving players control of their speed bursts, allowing them to time when they want to turn on their afterburners, which can be extremely advantageous when splitting defensemen or accelerating alongside the boards to avoid a check. So yeah, there's going to be some kind of new speed burst button. We kind of have the one right now. Well, for PS3 it's L2. It's obviously a trigger for the Xbox, but yeah, you kind of poke the puck ahead. But it looks like you're going to actually be able to control the puck with the speed burst. Number 2, going fast has its limitations. Players will get fatigued faster, and only elite players like Sidney Crosby are able to stick handle and take accurate shots while skating at top speed, which is kind of cool. So you'll be able to skate and shoot at the same time instead of kind of, getting caught in your tracks and having to like glide while you shoot. If you are flying down the wing as fast as your player can skate and you try to make an aggressive turn toward the net, your player may lose his footing and wipe out. The controller will give players feedback by rumbling when they are pressing too hard. So that's going to be kind of neat. So yeah, your players are going to have limitations. I know right now if you don't have good agility and you kind of do spins around in circles and you figure skate a little bit, your player can fall over, which happens just because you don't have enough agility and balance, whatever. So number 3, EA Canada conducted a study and found that NHL players glide nearly 40% of the time on the ice. In NHL 12, players glided. It's glid. Or glided? Glid? I'm not going to stumble over that. Players glided less than 1% of the time, with the limitations imposing by moving at top speed. Most players are better off accelerating and then using their momentum to glide into position to take a shot or make a pass. Quote, "We want to capture why Henrik Sedin rarely goes at his top-end speed," says producer Sean Ramjan Singh. Sorry, I don't know how to say that really good. He's always in control, and it seems like he slows down the entire flow of the game. So that's kind of cool. Now you kind of you can glide around and stuff instead of having to skate full tilt when you want to shoot or whatever when you're getting into the opening. Number 5, pressing and holding the left trigger activates back skating. This can be extremely useful when positioned along the blue line in the offensive zone, opening up new shooting angles. Being able to turn and skate with forwards or pivot into a back skate is also a boon on defense, but mistiming your pivot could leave you flat-footed and create an opening for an offensive player to blow past with a well-timed speed burst. In our limited time with NHL 13, this dynamic created an interesting cat and mouse game between defenders and forwards. Since you can't skate backwards as fast as attacking players skate forward anymore, knowing when to back off, when to turn and skate, when to close the gap, and when to attempt a check requires much more awareness than in past games. Now, the only problem I see with this, obviously, the current AI, I don't know if it's more so for offline because the tuners aren't that bad, but more so when you play online and you have a AI like EA SHL player, when your defense or the AI computers, they are always flat-footed. They never turn, they never time, it's like they don't react until the guy's way by them, and then they end up taking they dive and take the penalty shot. So hopefully they made the AI, I know they're supposed to create better AI, so hopefully the computer AIs know how to do this timing and how to closing the gap and stuff, because that'll make the game a lot better. So number 6 under gameplay, the real-time physics introduced a couple years back are being tweaked to account for the new sense of speed and momentum on the ice to add more fidelity. Ram Jansing says they are starting to see more subtle behaviors like knee-on-knee collisions. Hopefully that's a penalty because it happens a lot in EA SHL, or it like seems like you're going knee-on-knee anyways. So the only thing I see is, well, so far they haven't really talked about how they introduced 2 years ago that there was going to be a 3-year physics system. So apparently this real-time physics was introduced a couple years back, but I remember 2 years ago specifically they said that there was going to be a 3-year physics system in progress. And last year, obviously, NHL 12 was the 2nd year. So I don't know if they're just completely forgetting that this was supposed to be the 3rd year in the physics system, or maybe this is just they kind of forgot about it, or they're just like introducing this to go along with it. I have no idea. Anyways, number 7, EA has tweaked goaltender performance to open up the 5-hole more for more scoring opportunities. That is pretty good. Goaltenders are usually not weak 5-hole. Not a huge thing though. Down below there's some better stuff about goalies, which is kind of cool. Number 8. For the first time in the series, goalies now have individual limb control, which introduces more save possibilities and can also result in more deflection goals off their arms and legs. And actually, that's what I was talking about. It's not lower down. So that's pretty sweet. Goalies can now move their limbs individually. So they're not kind of stuck in preset, save animations like they are in this year. Hopefully this helps to eliminate like the glitch goals and stuff. Because they're a huge problem I find in online unless you have a computer goalie. But even then, I find you can still glitch a computer goal or a human goalie. Sorry, if you know how to do it, you can still do it by like making player. The biggest example I know is when you get like a 2-on-1 on a computer defenseman, and basically the computer defenseman still skates into the goalie, and you can't go cross ice to make the save. And then there's other ones, obviously, like screening and stuff, where the goalie doesn't actually try and look around the guy or anything. So anyways, yeah, the individual limb control, that's going to be kind of neat to see. Hopefully it works out. So we'll keep going on. Number 9, last year many fans complained that computers didn't take enough penalties. EA Canada plans to make this a focus this year. Okay, sure. I know at the beginning of NHL 12, computers used to take a lot of stupid penalties, online at least, like a lot, until they did a tuner update. And even then, I don't know if I have a video example. I'm not going to post one, but I'm sure a lot of you know, if you have a computer like on the defensive zone face-offs on either dot in front of your goaltender. Basically, the defenseman who stands in front of the goalie, who's like in the middle of the ice, once in a while will just randomly attack the winger who's standing in front of him. So yeah, I'm not sure what they're talking about. Hopefully, they don't make the goal or the computers take too many penalties, because that would get out of hand. I could see. Too much of a good thing isn't a good thing exactly. So anyways, we're on to the next section, EA Sports Hockey IQ. Obviously, I've kind of touched on this in the previous NHL 13 video, or news video, sorry. Number 10, for several years, users have questioned the sketchy player AI. Yep, we sure have. This year, the development team hopes to dispel this complaint once and for all with the EA Sports Hockey IQ. All right, let's hope. Quote, this year, we've invested more effort in AI than in the last 3 years combined in terms of effort. Ram Jansing says. What? Sorry, let me just read that quote again. This year, we've invested more effort in AI than in the last 3 years combined in terms of effort. So they've put a lot of effort in, I guess. Sure. I don't know if that's just a mistype or if that's actually what he said. That's a lot of effort, though. Sounds like a lot of effort. Number 11, the new AI system helps players understand situations as they develop on the ice and react to them accordingly. For example, thanks to the new EA Sports Hockey IQ, goalies are much more aware of situations like odd man rushes. That sounds good. Before, goalies only knew where the puck was. Now they anticipate player positioning and react realistically to 2-on-1s, 3-on-1s, and 2-on-0s. They may cheat and play more out of the net to challenge a shooter, or sit back to avoid giving a trailing player an open net. Now that they are willing to cheat, desperation saves and scrambling goaltenders are much more common. Again, like kind of like the other part, hopefully they don't cheat too much, like like how they were saying the defense can close the gap and stuff. Hopefully that's integrated with the AI, but hopefully the computers don't give up 2-on-1s, 3-on-1s, and 2-on-0s all the time, because that's the case right at the moment. I don't know. Hopefully, obviously the goalies don't always cheat and lose, you know, because there's a lot of different glitches in NHL. I wouldn't say glitches, exploit goals in NHL 12 as is. Like there's a short side one where you just go a quick fake and then the goalie just flies out of the net and you shoot it short side. We all know what they are, obviously. I'm going to start pounding through these because we're running out of time. Kind of. The video is going to end shortly. Number 12, EA is also working on making sure teammate AI knows... What? That doesn't even make sense. Okay, EA is also working on making sure teammate AI knows what to do when they have an odd man rush on offense. If you cross over into their lane, they will know that they should crisscross and position themselves for a scoring opportunity. Sorry, the first sentence isn't really grammar-wise perfect, and sounds kind of weird. So anyways, that's pretty good because right at the moment, AIs are absolutely stupid. They don't drive the net. They don't get open. They just kind of float into the corner or just skate behind the net and don't know what to do. Maybe they're saying hi to their mom. I don't know. Number 13, part of the AI work includes making sure there is better player differentiation on the ice. Fourth liners will go into corners more aggressively and finish their checks. Now that is good, but at the same time, I think it should go on. It should be part of like what their player type is. So if they're a grinder, they should be going into corners, obviously, right? But like if you say get angry at Steven Stamkos and you want to put him on the fourth line, I don't want to see him going into the corner and getting rocked, you know. Not that he would, but because he's a pretty big boy. But you know, I just hopefully they don't just run around and be stupid in the corners. But it does sound promising, obviously. Number 14, if you're not happy with how your lines are performing, you can tweak their behaviors with a new set of strategy sliders. On offense, you can control your player tendencies to carry versus dump the puck, cycle versus shoot, skate with efficiency or energy, or go down to block shots or not. On defense, you can use the sliders to determine whether or not your defensemen should pinch or hold the line and whether they should cycle the puck or shoot. If you want to create a fourth line that dumps and chases 100% of the time, you now have that option. Now that's pretty cool. That's a pretty sweet thing. I mean, if they integrate that into Be a GM, that'll add a lot of depth, which will be cool because you'll be able to tell your lines basically what you want them to do every game. So there is that depth aspect of hopefully like the simulation. Hopefully they like integrate that into the simulation and not just in the actual game. As well, hopefully you can tweak your computer players in EASHL or club games so they know what to so they kind of know your play style, right? That'd be kind of cool. Number 15, when computer AI employs the dump and chase, it's smart enough to try different types of dumps. Their options include ringing the puck around the boards, attempting a cross-ice dump, or shooting the puck off the back wall. Okay, well that's promising. At the moment, the computer basically either skates the blue line and stops skating, which makes you go offside, and then they decide to dump it, or they basically dump it from your own blue line and it's an icing. So hopefully that sounds pretty good. Like it's dump and chase is a pretty good system in terms of how NHL Online works, anyways, because you can catch human defensemen off guard and stuff. Number 16, EA has redone every single forecheck in the game, so teams employ the real-life strategies. This includes aggressive or passive 1-2-2, 1-3-1, and even the 1-4 the Tampa Bay Lightning used against the Boston Bruins during last year's Stanley Cup playoffs. So they've employed the trap, basically, which is pretty cool. The only thing I could see is it could be a problem online maybe, but I'm not going to worry about it because it sounds pretty good. Hopefully they integrate it properly. In addition to selecting your team's forecheck, you can also tweak their bias between hanging back in the neutral zone and more aggressive trapping game. Okay, so that basically has to do with 16. Okay, I'll just keep going on. 18. Each team has its own custom AI template to start. You can create a new system or adopt any of the 30 templates for your own team. That's kind of cool. Again, I hope that integrates into online play. And hopefully be a GM, like simulation. Anyways, so the next section is presentation. Number 19, much to the dismay of some fans, both Gary Thorne and Bill Clement returned to the broadcasting booth. EA recorded commentary for the new features like true performance skating and some league information that will keep their comments up to date. Personally, I don't mind Gary Thorne and Bill Clement. I know a lot of people think it's getting stale, it's getting old. I mean, it is. And especially I touched on it last video. I talked about how they always talk about the NHL Network every second play. Hopefully they get rid of that, and hopefully it's not like, man, look at that guy skating. Oh, man, look at that guy's strides. He's skating really well. Or, you know, like I hope it's not crap like that, to be honest. Number 20, NHL 13 has completely redone the lighting engine. New light maps replicate the look of each of the arenas in the game, and the developers also added more colored light. You will now notice light bouncing off objects and self-shading. That's pretty cool. It'll add more realism. I mean, it's not a huge deal, obviously. 21, the developers upgraded the rendering for skates, socks, pants, jerseys, gloves, helmets, etc. So they are much more detailed. You can see the stitching in breezers, and gloves will have scuff marks. Visors also properly reflect light. This is pretty cool. Hopefully, like, because right now they kind of look a little, I don't know how to explain it, but they look kind of plasticky. So that'll be pretty sweet. And number 22, EA has moved away from the non-interactive cutscenes. NHL 13 now uses the AI to drive the players after the whistle, and the developers implemented true broadcast camera angles to capture their activity. Alright, so that's sweet. More cutscenes. That's pretty cool. I'm pretty excited. Hopefully they're good. I guess we'll find out. So yeah, I don't know. These things all sound pretty promising. Hopefully they're all implemented good. It seems like they're, I mean, obviously listening to fans, but at the same time, I don't know, maybe they're implementing too much at one time. Like, they're not a huge development team, so I'd hate to see something get talked about and kind of down, like, you know, not completely fully done completely. I don't know. Anyways, leave comments below what you think. Obviously, the link will be in the description. So we got some more information on NHL 13, a little bit more in-depth information, and it sounds pretty promising. Alright guys, please again comment below and rate the video, and thanks for watching.